Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from today. I'm Megan Wood, Director of Recruitment and Admissions in the University at Buffalo School of Management. We really appreciate your interest in the University at Buffalo MBA program, and I'm happy to be joined today by Dr. Ian Tarrant, who is our full-time MBA program faculty director, and he will be answering several of the questions that you submitted. This will be a live Q&A with the MBA program faculty director today. So first, I really want to say thank you so much to all of you who submitted questions during the registration process. There were a lot of questions, and that's going to guide a lot of our conversation today. And hopefully at the end, if your question hasn't been answered during this presentation, then we'll be able to take some more individual one-on-one questions before we close at 10. This session is being recorded, so we'll be able to transcribe it and share it again with you in about a week's time. Also, if you have additional questions as the session is happening, please feel free to type them into the chat, and I'll do my best to address them during the session, and we'll try to cover everything by the very end. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Tarrant.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ian Tarrant. I am the faculty director for the full-time MBA program here. I also teach in the program. So my class for the most recently entering students ended last week. I'm happy to be here with you guys. I have a presentation that I'm going to run through, which will hopefully address most of the questions that you guys submitted through the registration process. But like Megan mentioned, if you do have any questions that aren't addressed here, throw them in the chat and Megan will be monitoring that. Or there's a Q&A session after we're all wrapped up with the prepared material here. So with that,
I'm sorry. Well, Dr. Tarrant's getting his slides ready. This is actually my mistake. I had a few questions I wanted to cover up front because they're always asked throughout the presentation. So we'll try and just cover those to begin with. Is the GMAT or GRE required? No, the UB School of Management uses a test optional admissions process. So you do not have to submit the GMAT or GRE score report to your application. If you have a strong score report, you can definitely upload it, but you're not required to do so. People ask about how long is the program and when do classes begin. The program is 2 years in length and admits in the fall term only. Our fall 2025 application is currently open. And our full-time MBA students take general management core classes during the first year. Most complete the credit-bearing internship in the summer in between years 1 and 2, and then take elective courses in year 2. Sometimes students ask, is the program STEM? Yes, we do have a STEM MBA curricular plan option, and the STEM MBA curriculum provides an additional 24 months of OPT for a total of 30 months for F1, 36 months for F1 visa holders. So, sorry, STEM provides that extra 24 months for a total of 36 months or 3 years of OPT for F1 visa holders. There are no course prerequisites and work experience is not required, but during Professor Tarrant's slides, he will cover some more information on our incoming class profile and just details. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Dr. Tarrant.
Thank you very much. So before we get started with the actual information about the MBA program, I'm going to give you some things that we consider bragging rights for the School of Management overall. So we recently celebrated as a school our 100th anniversary last year. So we've been in the business of educating the next generation of business leaders for 101 years now. We are an AACSB accredited business school. There are about 16,000 business schools across the globe, and only about 6% of them are accredited by AACSB. We are the #1 ranked business school in the SUNY system, and SUNY stands for the State University of New York system. We are a top 25 public MBA as ranked by Forbes. We're ranked number 30th for public MBA programs by Bloomberg Businessweek and 38th by US News and World Reports. And then a more recent statistic that we were just honored with is that we are the number 11 MBA program for return on investment in the United States. So we're very proud of that. We're also the #1 New York Public University for research and development. So there's a lot of things going on at the UB School of Management and at UB in general that we're very proud of. As far as what our current class looks like. So this is some demographic information about the class that just started at the end of August 2024. So These are the students who most of them will graduate in the spring of 2026. The split of male female is about 60-40, which is also similar to the split of domestic versus international students. The average age is about 26 years old, although we have students who are in their early 20s. We've got students in their 30s and in their 40s. And so we've got a wide array of students with different backgrounds and experiences coming into the program. The average undergraduate GPA is about 3.3. And those are students who have a vast different background set. So we've got students who have business backgrounds coming in. So they might have an undergraduate degree in business or accounting. We've got lots of engineering students who came in from hard science programs like engineering, computer science, chemistry, biology, pharmacy, and we've got students who have backgrounds where they're looking to switch careers completely. And so we have some fine art students, and we've got social work students, political science students with those backgrounds. And so there's a wide array of students who enter the program. The average work experience for those students is about 3 years, although there's a lot of variation in that number as well. Like Megan's mentioned, there is no work requirement or work experience requirement. And so some students don't have any, and some students have somewhere between 10 and 15 years, but it averages out to about 3. Jumping into what your time in the program is going to look like. So our full-time MBA program is a 60 credit program that spans 2 years, so 4 academic semesters. This is a preview of what the course schedule will look like and the curriculum looks like in the first year of the program. Now, everybody in the MBA program takes the same set of core classes in the first year. And this is what the schedule looks like. So over the summer, before actually stepping foot on campus, we have what's called MBA Advantage, which is an orientation set of programming to make sure that you are up to speed and ready to go. You start working on various tools and maybe doing some review if you need some extra practice with some skills that you might need when you start the program. So that happens in the summer prior to actually stepping foot on campus for the fall semester. In the first year of the program, our semesters our typical 15-week semesters are broken into 2 7-week halves. And so we have accelerated courses that run for 7-week periods during the fall and spring of the first year in the program. You can see what happens there in the first 7 weeks of fall, for example, which just finished up last week. The students completed an organizational behavior course, a communications course, and then my financial accounting course. During that same 7-week period, the students are working on what we call our Corporate Champions program. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the slideshow. In the second 7 weeks, which started this week, the students switched over, so they're now taking marketing, finance, and entrepreneurship. And then there is one single class in the core curriculum that spans the entire 15-week semester, and that's the statistical analysis class. And so we get a lot of information built into those 7-week semesters, and everything goes by pretty quickly. Over the winter term, so we have a winter semester when students don't typically take classes, but there is some more advantage orientation programming. It's really headed by our Career Resource Center. That happens in January before the spring semester starts. And then you can see in the spring, we have the same modular structure where we have courses that run for 7 weeks in the first half of the 15-week semester, and then 7 weeks in the second half of the 15-week semester. And then in the spring semester, there is room in the schedule for students to start taking electives. And so you can figure out what sort of interests you have. If there's any areas that you are particularly interested in growing in, for instance, you can slot that into your schedule and you can start thinking about potentially what sort of concentration you might want to pursue as well, which we'll talk about in a couple slides here. Throughout the first year in the program, and actually the entire program itself, even the second year, you're going to hear, and many of you will engage in a Leader Core program. And then there is support from the Career Resource Center. And so the Career Resource Center is an award-winning career center that we have that services strictly School of Management students here. And they will help you throughout your journey from start to finish to build your personal brand and make sure your resume is in good shape, apply for internships, figure out what you need to do to navigate that process, and then ultimately help you in the process of finding a job once you graduate from the program. Now, that little star at the bottom is just indicating that there is a capstone course in the core curriculum, which is our strategy class, which is the last one that you'll take in the second half of the spring semester. So the first semester is the first year is all core curriculum. It's very regimented. In the second year, you have complete freedom to set your schedule how you would like. And so most students are going to complete an internship in the summer between the first year and the second year. In the fall of the first year, the students will select electives. Now, this map here assumes that this student is enrolled in the STEM program, and so they would look for classes that meet that STEM designation. And then there's also room in the schedule to take non-STEM electives as well. Over the winter term, there's the opportunity to participate in global programs, which we'll talk more about later on in the slideshow, which is also available during spring break as well if the winter term doesn't work for you. And then in the spring semester of your second year in the program, you also have the opportunity to pick the electives that either meet the STEM designation requirement that you're looking to pursue, or meet the concentration requirements that you were interested in, or just are classes that are of interest to you in general. And then, of course, many students are going to be engaged in the leadership process through Leader Corps throughout the second year in the program as well. And then there is ongoing support from the CRC. Now, in the MBA program, you have the opportunity to customize your learning experience by selecting a concentration if you would like to. And so everybody's going to come in here with different backgrounds and different interests. There's different careers that you are looking to pursue. And so you might want to customize your educational experience by selecting one or more concentrations. And these are sets of classes that are put together to meet certain educational outcomes in a particular area of business. So, for instance, there are concentrations in finance, there are concentrations in consulting, there's concentrations in marketing and that sort of thing. Now, you don't have to concentrate in any one area, and many students don't, so they just take a wide variety of classes in different disciplines throughout the School of Management, but a lot of students do concentrate, and they concentrate in one or more areas. Oops, sorry. Now, we have partnerships with many other master's and upper level degree programs throughout the University at Buffalo. And so you can complement whatever your passion is in business with another program on campus. And so we have combined degrees, collaborative degrees, and dual degree programs with a variety of other disciplines throughout the University at Buffalo. And so we have several students who are pursuing, for example, a PharmD in addition to their MBA at the same time. We've got students who are registered and going through the law curriculum and then also pursuing their MBA degree at the same time. So you can take whatever business whatever business passions you have and partner with whatever else you're interested in as well. So architecture, medicine, dentistry, there's a wide variety of different opportunities for you to work with other partner programs across campus. Now, one note is that the collaborative degree programs are not STEM eligible. So if you are specifically an international student who is interested in that STEM designation, then you would not be able to take part in a combined or dual or collaborative degree program with some other department across campus. Okay, in addition to our core curriculum and then the electives that you're going to take throughout your time at UB, we also have some other professional development and action learning opportunities. And so I'm just going to go through a couple of these quickly here. So we have something called the CoLab, which is an entrepreneurship and innovation center on campus that empowers students to realize solutions for global and local challenges that are very applicable for our current time here. So this is sort of a startup incubator and an idea sharing center. And what this does is it connects students to mentors, different events, funding opportunities, and experiences that allow them to grow an entrepreneurial mindset. And so if you have an interest in starting your own business or entrepreneurship in general, this is something that you might want to pursue or at least investigate while you're looking at what UB has to offer for you in the MBA program. Additionally, we have what's called the Projects Clinic at the School of Management. And this is a situation where we have paid student assistants who act as clinic interns, and they partner with organizations to solve real problems that are happening on an ongoing day-to-day basis within those organizations. So you typically work in small teams. You're going to leverage the skills that you learn as part of the core curriculum and then your elective set of classes to help the organizations that you're partnered with. You're going to bring your own perspective, and you are going to hopefully create positive change within those organizations. We also have a global programs opportunity for students. And so through these faculty-led programs, you can prepare to lead in today's business world and develop a global and diversity mindset by engaging in real-world global issues through case studies and other educational outcomes. So through these global programs, and they're not just global programs, there's also domestic opportunities as well. You can learn about issues globally within the United States. There's opportunities to travel to these locations. So you can meet new people. You can visit different businesses across the globe. You can be exposed to different cultures, and you can showcase these experiences on your resume and when you're interviewing down the road as you're trying to secure a full-time position after graduation. Now, all of these global and U.S. experiences include a credit-bearing virtual program, as well as the option to travel. And so some locations that have been traveled to in the past have been Ghana. We send students to Costa Rica. I am actually leading a domestic trip in the spring semester to New York City because we have, as a School of Management, a partnership with the United Nations in New York City. I've been to Chicago through these programs and different locations throughout the United States. So this is a great opportunity to expand your network beyond just the greater Buffalo area. Now, full-time MBA students also have two specific opportunities that a lot of students participate in. And the first one is Leader Core. So Leader Core is a micro-credential that strengthens the competencies that are vital components of successful leadership. So this is a program that's going to give you executive level leadership skills. And so through your experience in this program, you're going to develop critical thinking skills, behavioral skills. You're going to understand how diversity, equity, and inclusion affect businesses on a day-to-day basis. You'll learn about personal ethics and integrity and creative problem solving. First-year MBA students are also going to participate in what we call our Corporate Champions program. And I mentioned that when we were talking about the core curriculum a couple slides ago. And so as part of this program, we're going to link you up immediately when you enter the program with a local partner organization. And then you're going to work with them, going to be able to interview and work with their executive level, upper level executive team. There's multiple touch points throughout the first semester in the program. So you'll do a site visit. You can work with those executives and get mentorship opportunities from them. There's other opportunities to engage with those corporate partners as well. And students can immediately apply the knowledge that you're gaining in those first couple of core courses as you navigate the experience also with your corporate champion. So a little bit about our alumni in the School of Management. So we have over 290,000 alumni across 150 countries across the globe. So our students have an enormous network to take advantage of. And our UB alumni are special. They are extremely engaged in our programs. So they are coming back. They are offering insights. And so we frequently have them as guest speakers to provide insight to students in our classes. They're engaged with current students. They participate in many networking events, many career fairs and that sort of thing. They work with clubs that we have on campus, and they serve on a variety of boards and other panels that we have throughout your time in the program. I mentioned the Career Resource Center a little earlier, but that's an award-winning career resource center that we have that is specifically dedicated to School of Management students. And so as a UB student, you have lifelong career management opportunities through the Career Resource Center. And so they are working with you as you navigate the program on an ongoing basis, but then you also have lifelong access to those resources after you graduate as well. So they're going to do things like help you work on your resume. They're going to help you work on your personal brand, your interviewing skills. You will have a dedicated career advisor who works with students in particular areas. And so if you are interested in finance, we have somebody in the Career Resource Center who specializes in careers in finance. right? So the Center team is going to assist students with developing a career strategy, honing the tools that you need for an effective job search. They provide personalized career guidance. So like I said, you will have a career advisor that is working with you as you navigate this process. And through the Career Resource Center, you have access to jobs and other opportunities that are available even after you graduate from the University at Buffalo. In addition to our dedicated Career Resource Center in the School of Management, there's also a UB Career Design Center that you have access to at a university-wide level. Right, so again, this is a little bit more information here about the CRC. And even before you step foot on campus, as part of your MBA orientation through that MBA Advantage programming over the summer, the Career Resource Center is going to be engaged with you. So they're going to be committed to your success and providing you with a career program checklist. And so they're telling you on an ongoing basis how to be successful in your job search and in your career after you graduate and start your first job as well. So they work with you throughout your first year in the program and even in your second year to help you navigate the job search process and make sure that you are presenting yourself in the best way to be successful in your job search. These are some of the outcomes. So these are some of the employment partners that we had for students who graduated as part of the class of 2024. So these students graduated in the spring semester or over the summer. And so we've placed students at Amazon, at Google, at HSBC, PwC, and all sorts of organizations across the country and across the world. 89% of our students are employed within 3 months of graduation. The average base salary for students who leave our MBA or left our MBA program for the class of 2024 is right around $85,000, and the high base salary was $225,000 for one individual. Okay, with that, I'm going to pass it back to Megan to talk a little bit more about the admissions process as you navigate this over the next couple months.
Thank you so much, Professor. So I've been trying to quickly type in the chat. I appreciate all of the questions. Hopefully, most of your questions have been answered during the slides or will be in the future slides. Just really quick, the university minimum score for TOEFL is 79. That is well below what we generally see for our admitted MBA, MS, and PhD students. In the School of Management, as Professor Tarrant mentioned, our MBA students are placed on teams of 5 or 6. So the English proficiency is really important. Most of our students are scoring more than 90 on the TOEFL. So just something to consider. A lot of questions about scholarships. We'll get there. First, let's talk about admissions requirements. There's an online application that's pretty easy to complete. You could probably complete the application itself within 10 minutes. There's a $100 application fee. Students are required to upload transcripts, but you can upload copies of your official transcripts and proof of degree for admissions consideration. If the Office of International Admissions requires your official transcripts, they will contact you directly post-decision, post-admission, if they actually need official copies. But for now, you can upload copies of your official transcripts to your application portal and your proof of degree. Your resume should be formatted so that each position shows starting months and year to starting months and year. If you're in a current position, it can be starting month and year to the present. As Professor Tarrant mentioned, we are AACSB accredited, which is a really important credential. So we have to make sure we are calculating work experience, post-bachelor's work experience accurately. So please be sure to make sure your resume is formatted that way. And you can actually go to our Career Resource Center, which is management.buffalo.edu/career, and you'll find an amazing resume template that I encourage you to utilize now because it's helpful, and that's what our students are expected to utilize once they're admitted to the program. We also require a personal statement where you talk about your short and long-term career goals. That should be about 700 words in length. It's helpful for you to really talk about the benefits of the UB MBA program and specifics about the UB MBA program and how that will relate to your career success. Then you also are expected to respond to a topical essay. There's 3 different topics. Again, your personal statement and topical essay should be around 700 words in length. We don't count the word count, but I will tell you 1 paragraph is too short and 3 pages is too long. So try to keep it around 700 words. Again, we are test optional. We do not require the GMAT or GRE, but it's important that if you have a strong score, you can definitely upload that for admissions consideration, but you are not required to do so. Okay, we have a few questions about requirements now in the chat, so I'll answer those while we're on this slide. Again, we'll get to tuition and fees. We do not require work experience for this program. So we definitely have students coming directly from undergrad. We have other students, specifically international students, tend to bring a lot more post-bachelor's work experience into our program. So work experience isn't required, although Professor Tarrant reviewed the averages earlier in the slide for our incoming students. Oh, good question about the resume. So our Career Resource Center would tell you 1 page for every 10 years of work experience that you have. So you really, at this point, most of you will have between a 1 or 2 page resume. Again, that's why the Career Resource Center that we also call the CRC template is really beneficial. So check that out and it will help you kind of consider how to reformat your resume if it's longer than 2 pages. Can someone paste the like for the resume template? I will get that to you once I'm through presenting. I'll add that here. But if you go to career, you'll find the template there. You'll also find a lot of other great resources. So I encourage you to check that out. Okay, next slide, please. So these are critical dates for our fall 2025 applicants. Our first deadline already passed. That was October 15th. And our applicants from that round will be notified by December 1st. We expect the tuition deposit to be due by May 15th. The priority deadline for scholarship applicants, actually, this is scholarships, not for final deadlines. Well, it's priority for international, but also priority deadline for scholarship consideration is January 15th. So if you wish to be considered for one of our scholarships, be sure to have a completed application submitted by January 15th. That means the application fee and all required materials have to be in by January 15th. The decision notification date is March 1st, and then the tuition deposit would be due by May 15th. All applicants can apply by March 1st. This is also the final international applicant deadline of March 1st. So applicants by that deadline will be notified by April 1st. Deposit would be due by May 15th. And then we have additional deadlines for US applicants of April 15th and June 1st. So definitely keep those dates in mind. It's October 23rd right now, so there's plenty of time to get your application in by January 15th. So I encourage you to do so. Next, please. Awesome. Okay, so if you're an international applicant, please pay close attention here. First of all, you have to be eligible for graduate admissions, meaning you have to have a degree that's equitable to a U.S. bachelor's degree. We have a processing team that will review your transcripts and confirm that. You know, we have a lot of 3-year degrees from India. So we will review that. And if there's any issues, we'll let you know. If you have any concerns, you can always request a WES or ECE evaluation, but that's not required. That's only if you want to do that. If you have a WES or ECE evaluation, you can upload that to your application in addition to your transcripts, not in place of. So you always have to make sure you're uploading copies of your transcripts and proof of your degree. International applicants also have to demonstrate English language proficiency. So our preferred score in the MBA program is 95 or better on the TOEFL. IELTS, we have a minimum overall score of 6.5. And then for Duolingo or DET, the minimum score is 120. You please upload a copy of your passport photo page. We need to make sure that your application, all of your documentation matches your official name. Financial documentation in the UB financial form is not required for admissions consideration. So you don't have to upload that until we receive a decision. Although I encourage you to upload that as soon as possible, because the sooner you provide that, the sooner we can begin processing your I-20 so that you can get your visa. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have a lot of questions about tuition and fees. So first of all, graduate school is really an investment in yourself and your future career trajectory. UB really is an amazing and excellent investment. As Professor Tarrant said, we were ranked 11th for the return on investment that our MBA program provides our students. We're really proud of that ranking, and it's a testament to our students and their placement outcomes. But also it's a great investment of 2 years of your life to then get a great job post MBA and continue to grow within your career. We were actually ranked number 25th by Credit Summit in regards to most affordable cities, most affordable university in the US. We also offer a low cost of living in Western New York in comparison to many other college towns and cities. So I think our students can find a lot of housing here. It's affordable. We do have assistantship opportunities and on-campus opportunities. As I noted in the chat, you can apply for those assistantship and on-campus employment opportunities through the university's Career Design Center website post-admission. We also have merit-based scholarship opportunities available, anywhere from $2,000 to $15,000. These are very competitive scholarships. It's a competitive process. There aren't separate applications for scholarship consideration. The scholarship committee will review all of the information that you submitted within your applicant application. So that's how scholarships decisions are made. Additionally, as we mentioned, you get phenomenal career support. You have access to 2 career centers, not only a personalized advisor in our own School of Management Career Resource Center, but also access to the university's Career Design Center as well. A few questions here. So the waiver criteria for English language proficiency is listed on our website. There are some countries where students are waived. It looks like some of the students that are emailing are Indian students. India is not one of those countries, so you wouldn't be waived from the English language proficiency requirement. Assistantship opportunities, it all depends. There's graduate assistantship opportunities where students are working in offices on campus. There's teaching assistantship opportunities where students are working with a faculty member. We also have student assistantship hourly paid positions. So it all depends on the opportunity, but that's laid out generally when you would go to interview for that opportunity. You can ask those questions. We covered when you would submit your application, the decision notification dates are listed on the website as well. And then moving into tuition. So our full-time MBA program, this is in-state resident tuition fees for our New York State residents. This information is available on the program website as well, and you can also find a breakdown of university fees on the student accounts website. So the estimated total program cost for a New York State resident for our MBA program is a little over $38,500. Again, we offer merit-based scholarships, and domestic applicants, international applicants, all applicants are eligible for merit-based scholarship consideration. Next slide, please. So our non-resident tuition fee information is also listed here. The total estimated program cost is $63,515. Again, merit-based scholarships are available, and you can find a breakdown of tuition fees on the website. And if you have additional questions, we also offer, information sessions, one-on-one advising appointments. I offer quick Q&A drop-in hours every single week where students can just drop in and ask whatever questions they might have. So lots of ways to connect with us. If you're not following us on social media currently, we have a really robust channel, so please do so. We have a blog, we have a podcast, so lots of activity there as well. We also have wonderful current student ambassadors. So if you haven't already done so, you can find them on our website. I encourage you to reach out to them. They're experiencing the program every day, so you can get a lot of questions answered from them. Okay, I think I have answered all of the questions in the chat, or if I haven't answered them, they were covered in Professor Tarrant's slides or the slides that I covered at the end. If you have additional questions, feel free to type more in the chat and we can address those. Okay, so for an application to be considered, it has to be complete by the deadline that we talked about. So there's October 15th, January 15th, March 1st, April 15th, and June 1st. So a completed application means the online application itself has to be completed. You have to pay the application fee and upload all of your admissions materials for consideration by that deadline. Submitting the application and missing materials will not allow for your application to be considered. So when we talk about the application deadlines, it means the completed application, the fee, and all materials have to be in by that deadline for admissions consideration. From that point on, we will review applications, and then there is an admissions interview that we extend to admissible candidates. So that's another part. Then your application goes to our faculty admissions committee for final decisioning. Living expenses, yes, you can review living expenses. They're estimated on the UB financial form, which you can also find on the program website. The living expenses are estimated on that form around $20,000. Although I will say most students are living here for much less than that, but that is what the Office of International Admissions notes to make sure that you have enough money to cover that when you're submitting your UB financial form for your I-20. Again, reach out to current students regarding their experience. I think they'll tell you that it's very affordable to live in Buffalo and go to the UB MBA program. Application fee waiver. So anyone that attended this session live will be following up with you after the session with more details regarding the application fee waiver. But again, your application has to be completed by December 1st for that consideration. So you'll get more details via email after the session, and that's only for live attendees that are currently on right now. Okay, if somebody has a TOEFL score of 85, it's really up to you if you want to retake it. Our admissions process is holistic. So I can guarantee you that our faculty admissions committee is looking at every aspect of your application, grades you've taken, classes you've taken each semester, reading your application in detail. So it's up to you if you wanted to retake that. My recommendation at this point is get your application in by January 15th. If you receive an unfavorable response, you would still have time to then resubmit a new score by that March 1st deadline. So I wouldn't waste the money now to retake it, but you'll have time to retry if necessary by March 1st. Yes, students living in Nigeria are exempt from the English language proficiency exam. Yes, unofficial test scores can be uploaded for admissions consideration. Absolutely. If you are admitted, you will then receive an email that you have to upload your official score or send your official scores to the university. So you can absolutely upload unofficial at this point, but be prepared that if you're admitted, you'll have to send your official scores. Okay, so if you pay the application fee now, your application is complete, the application will be considered for the January 15th round at this point. Any other questions? Can a graduate assistantship cover the total cost of attendance? It's pretty close. Again, it depends on the assistantship and the office, what the pay rate is, if there's a tuition waiver that goes with that, and that's all up to the individual departments that are hiring our students. Will the decision come after January? So if your application is complete and was completed by October 15th, you'll have a decision by December 1st. If the next deadline is January 15th, so if you have your application in, your completed application in by January 15th, you'll receive an admissions decision by March 1st. Yes, there is a STEM MBA option to our MBA, absolutely. That was covered early in the slide, so I encourage you later, you can watch the recording and also find out more information on their curriculum planner, which is on the MBA program website. But yes, we do offer a STEM MBA option, which provides the extra OPT for a total of 36 months. No separate application for scholarship and assistantship opportunities. Scholarship consideration is based on all of the materials you submit for the admissions process. You do not have to apply separately for scholarship consideration. Assistantship consideration, what happens is for admitted students, I will forward resumes to various departments on campus that have hired our MBA students in the past. Additionally, you'll find assistantship opportunities posted on the university's career design website, so you can apply for those. Generally, for most assistantship opportunities, the hiring department at least wants to see your resume. Every once in a while, they'll ask for an essay on why you're interested in that position as well. So for assistantship opportunities, you'll most likely apply for those positions unless faculty staff reach out to you based on receiving their resume. And I send those resumes out in early March, so faculty can review those for the upcoming fall needs. Okay, sorry. Trying to keep up here, guys. We do not require letters of recommendation for our MBA or MS program, so none are required. Thanks, Sam. So there'll be a follow-up email. So anybody that's attended today, your registration has been logged by our system, your attendance has been logged by our system. So we'll be following up with the live attendees with next steps regarding the application fee waiver. It's only for live attendees. Okay. Interesting question about the AI assisted essays, because let me tell you, we're seeing a lot more of those in the applications that we review. Anything related to AI, just be smart with how you're using it. Again, we want to know you. We want to hear from you. When you're talking about your short-term and long-term career goals, that should be specific to yourself. When you're doing research on our MBA program, we really would like to hear some highlights on what interested you in applying to the MBA program. So I think AI can help, but we also know when everything's AI generated. So just be cautious with utilizing that. I think oftentimes AI can make some sentences sound better, but that's definitely about a balance, okay? Is accommodation part of the tuition? No, housing is separate from any of the tuition and fees that I've noted. The range of accommodations, again, the estimate on the financial form is around $20,000. Our students are living here for much less than that. And you can also find housing information on our program website. So the Leader Core program is a program within our MBA program, which really focuses on key competencies and skills that employers are looking for in MBA graduates. So you'll learn a lot of theory within the classroom. You're going to learn a lot of ways how to apply the theory, but the Leader Core program is really focused a little bit more on you know, emotional intelligence skills outside of the classroom and how to apply those. So each of us have different strengths. Each of us have different opportunities for growth. So LeaderCore provides a phenomenal structure where students can develop those opportunities. Self-management, adaptability, communication skills, strategic thinking, global awareness. Those are just some of them. Students have to apply and be admitted into the LeaderCore program. Our admitted students will learn more about that during MBA Advantage, which is our orientation session that happens prior to the start of classes in August. And it's really, it's a wonderful benefit. It's an award-winning program. I think our students that participate really get a lot of benefit out of it. And I love talking to alumni that I've coached through the years. And, they're 10 years out and they're like, I'm still using this Leader Core principle and I find it really helpful. So definitely a benefit and a differentiator for our UB MBA program. Cost of attendance, we noted that. It's also on our program website. Okay, thanks. And it's been posted in the chat, so you can review that there and also go to the Office of Student Accounts for a breakdown of tuition and fees. Full funding, there may be potential. It all depends on the assistantship opportunities that are available. Our scholarships will range between $2,000 and $15,000 this year. Again, it's a very competitive process. So as you're preparing your application materials, make sure you're putting your very best foot forward. Okay, again, for the application fee waiver for live attendees of this session. Again, your attendance has been recorded by the system. So I'll be following up with an email after this session on how to secure the application fee waiver for live attendees of this session. Okay. I think we have covered everything. Professor Tarrant, did I miss anything?
No, I think you did an exceptional job navigating the chat and all the questions. And if you do have questions for me, you can reach out, or if you would like to review this material down the road, I think that's another way to have your questions answered. We thank you for coming.
Thank you, everyone. Again, the session was recorded, so in about a week's time, we'll be adding it to the digital library and also sending it out. So if you missed anything during the session, you can have a chance to rewatch it, share it with any of your friends that are interested in applying for the MBA program as well. Thanks again for your attendance and participation and your excellent questions. We look forward to seeing those applications soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.